I'm going to give you 3 of the best ways that you can build your confidence, surprisingly, by actually embracing self-doubt. Before we start, subscribe to our channel if you want weekly videos that are going to help boost your career. And click that bell so that you never miss a video when they drop. So I'm Dr. Suzanne Doyle Morris, founder of Inclusive. And in the 15 years that I have been coaching hundreds of women, let me tell you, when I ask what they want, they all say, more confidence. Turns out, though, we are looking at it all wrong. I get what they want, but instead of wanting more confidence, we should be embracing our self-doubt, because if you manage it right, well, self-doubt can actually play huge dividends towards both appearing but also feeling more confident. Our biggest mistake is in thinking successful people will somehow magically, they just have more confidence. But often they're only good at just getting other people to think of them as confident. And there's nothing wrong with that, because they are experts in using their self-doubt to their advantage. So instead of striving for more confidence on its own, here's how you can use your self-doubt to your advantage, because it's really productive for 3 key reasons. First, it keeps you trying harder. Now, in theory, having a lot of confidence sounds great, but amazingly, research shows that it most often stops drive or that ambition to improve, to get better. In truth, confidence and competence are actually inversely related, which means the more confidence you have, the less likely you are to actually work on improving your skills or your knowledge base. Equally, the more skilled you become, the more you understand there are far more questions to ask and a lot more that you don't yet know. This inverse relationship should actually be a very big worry for employers, particularly those who primarily tell their employees that they just need to have more confidence, as if that's the magic key to success. It's not. And actually, it's a big risk. That became clear when I was talking with Kynez Gazder. Now, she is a VP at P&G, a company she's been with for over 23 years. Gazder's now based in Singapore, but she got her first lessons about workplace confidence when she was a trainee in India, her country of origin. So she first interpreted confidence based on what you say about yourself. Only secondarily did it seem to be about what you actually knew. Now, she joked with me in our interview. She said most people I worked with, they've spent a lot of time more focused on that first element than on the second. When I first started my working, all of my fellow MBA graduates had grandiose plans for their future. But compared to them, I felt I had nothing to plan. I wasn't sure where I was going. So my only option was to build credibility through my work alone, and then eventually talk about that. So that's what she said. And for her, building her skills and her competence, and not just the show she put on, was completely vital. It got her notice, but it became more important to her as she eventually hired dozens of people herself in all of the years subsequent. She says, now when I'm hiring, I'm looking not at how well people present their plans. That's the first element of confidence. And it's actually the easiest part of getting confidence. The far better question I'm interested in is, do they actually know their stuff? That comes from the recommendations they make and their ability to answer tough questions about their subject area. So the tip here is to think about how you talk about your work and how you would answer your most commonly asked questions, whether it's in meetings or questions from your boss or a new interviewer. Show that your answers are completely evidence-based and born out of your experience, not solely on how you feel about a topic or your gut reaction. And if you do that, well, your competence will shine through and people will value your credibility, making you more confident by default. Now, the second reason you should embrace self-doubt is that it prevents you from taking risky liberties as if you were entitled to them. So confidence can turn ugly real quick, as I'm sure you've seen. And it can give people the sense that they're above reproach or beyond the law, which again should be a concern for businesses, both from a reputational but also financial perspective. As I was writing this book, Every day, it seemed there was a new headline story about people whose confidence meant that they lied and took liberties that they really shouldn't have, all because they were confident. So that's everyone from like Elizabeth Holmes, who defrauded high-profile investors for her DNA testing business, Theranos, when there was no science on which it was based at all the way to the uber-confident Harvey Weinstein, whose sexual abuse of women was so notable, it inspired the entire Me Too movement. I dare say that if they and countless others who have made some very high-profile mistakes had had a bit more self-doubt and less confidence, they and the organizations they represented probably wouldn't be in the position they are in now. So the practical tip in this is to think back to a decision where second-guessing yourself actually led to a better result than it would have done than if you'd confidently blazed ahead, assuming that you were in the right. So we all have self-doubt. So don't beat yourself up. Instead, be dubious of the people who say they've made no mistakes. Because sure, making mistakes can make you better, but you have to be self-aware enough to ensure that you don't make the same mistakes again. And that self-awareness is only helped if you have a bit of self-doubt. Because if you think success can come to you only when you are entirely sure of yourself, well, you will be waiting forever. Take it from me. And if you want to see more about videos on confidence, then let me know with a comment or a like below. So this last point is about how anxiety that can come with self-doubt. If you feel anxious because of your self-doubt, then this is a tip for you. Start a gratitude journal with a difference. So list every day 3 things that you're really grateful for, things that went well, plus one thing that you can do tomorrow to address that niggle. Now, that may be a tough conversation with a colleague or a boss, or in my case, a client who I worry maybe is ignoring me. And the truth is, they just have other priorities, and they're almost never avoiding me the way I assume that they are. Well, almost never. Research shows that this pre-bedtime positive reframing helps reduce anxiety and improve sleep. And Lord knows, who doesn't need more sleep? Because if you're anything like me, you've had plenty of 3 a.m. sleepless nights. So if this is you too, remember, nothing in your life could possibly look good at 3 a.m. It's best to get back to sleep as quickly as possible to avoid rumination fest. This is the type of thing that's only exacerbated if the person next to you is happily snoring, completely aware of your self-flagellating tendencies, which, after I've said it, sounds dirtier than it actually is. Anyway, remember that person lying next to you, and in my case, also Angus Khan, the Cavapoo who sleeps between us, are great reminders that there are far better things to do, like sleep, than thinking about how the whole world is going to the dogs. No pun intended. So those journal entries will not just help your sleep, but also improve your self-awareness. So once you've become more aware of the specifics that are keeping you up at night, then you can start to address them really competently the next day, which, if you don't already know, is this name of the game when it comes to having more confidence. And this is so vital to understand because there's a belief, particularly amongst those of us who feel like we're sometimes outsiders or not part of the status quo at work, that it's your self-doubt that is holding you back. In actual fact, there's a fundamental problem with the way we view confidence in our society and who demonstrates it and how. So if you're not part of the status quo and you want to advance your career, well, my book was certainly written for you. Because we're in a society where we rate confidence far too highly, which means the most competent people risk being overtaken by their less competent colleagues. And if you want to stand up to the status quo with me and help me put an end to our overvaluation of confidence, then just click the link below to take a look at the book and keep up to date with the activity around the book launch by following More Competence, well, hashtag More Competence, on Twitter and Instagram. And please share this video with your friends and colleagues too, because you will not be the only person feeling this way. And subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you're the first to see of the rest of the videos in this series. So thanks for watching, and check out our other videos in the Competence versus Confidence playlist.